The Philippines is preparing to unveil its first truly iconic skyscraper, a striking symbol of its rapid ascent. Amid a skyline that's evolving before our eyes, one building is capturing global imagination. This isn't just another high-rise, it's a bold architectural statement, declaring to the world that the Philippines is no longer playing catch-up. It's asserting itself, reshaping the narrative, and redefining modern Asia. Built not just with steel and glass, but with vision and pride, this tower fuses technological innovation, cultural heritage, and national ambition into one awe-inspiring form. But height is only part of the story. What this skyscraper embodies is far greater. It's about growth, determination, and a future that aspires to reach beyond the clouds. Join us as we explore the journey, the dream, and the impact of a structure that's not just transforming Metro Manila's skyline, but altering the identity of the nation. Right now, the Philippines is on an economic tear. As one of Southeast Asia's fastest-growing economies, change is visible everywhere, from massive infrastructure rollouts to a digitizing society and surging retail spaces. The country is surging forward, and its momentum is impossible to ignore. For global investors, the Philippines represents a goldmine of opportunity. With demand booming across sectors, construction is in overdrive. Tower cranes dot the skylines, concrete giants emerge, and urban centers evolve at an astonishing pace. Metro Manila alone ranks as the 11th most skyscraper-dense city globally, trailing only slightly behind cities like Jakarta and Bangkok. Yet despite the rising numbers, one thing is noticeably absent: a truly iconic, super-tall tower that defines the national skyline. From Makati to Ortigas, Alabang to Cebu, and even out to Davao, high-rises are becoming the norm. The vertical race is now spreading beyond the urban core and into the provinces. Horizontal sprawl is converging with skyward ambition, and Metro Manila's evolving silhouette is proof of that shift. What's powering this transformation? Solid macroeconomic performance, a competitive and determined private sector, and a growing middle class. Real estate developers, encouraged by a favorable regulatory climate and optimistic market sentiment, are changing the urban fabric. But one persistent question still lingers in the minds of architects and enthusiasts. Where is the Philippines' first truly iconic super-tall tower? To find the answer, we need to turn back the pages of history. The nation's journey toward the skies began in 1912 with the Manila Hotel, an 8-story marvel that was a modern symbol of a rising city. However, it wasn't until 1996 that the Philippines saw its first true skyscraper. That year, the 44-story Pacific Plaza condominium was completed along Ayala Avenue, opening a new era for Philippine architecture. In the decades that followed, buildings grew taller and more daring. Areas like Quezon City's Ortigas Center, along with Mandaluyong and Pasig, became new hotspots during the 1970s. Visionaries like the Gokongwei Group were among the first to invest in this vertical transformation. Business centers, retail giants, and sleek residential towers soon transformed the skyline. Makati emerged as the country's financial heart, and its crown jewel, the PBCom Tower, standing 259 meters tall, held the title of the nation's tallest building for nearly 20 years. Once regulatory height caps were lifted in the 1990s, developers didn't hesitate. Low-rise buildings gave way to massive towers that redefined space and city living. Today, the average high-rise in the country is around 45 stories tall, with the current tallest reaching 52 floors. But all eyes are now on Taguig. Bonifacio Global City, BGC, has quickly become the epicenter of next-gen development. Smart, stylish, and internationally admired. It's bold. It's forward-looking. And many believe it could be home to the Philippines' first genuine supertall. So, is the nation ready to construct its skyline-defining tower? All signs point to yes. If progress keeps up, it won't be long before the world sees Manila through an entirely new lens. One area, once a military base known as Fort Bonifacio, and earlier Fort McKinley, was privatized in 1992. That land has since been reborn. Where once there were barracks and open fields, there are now glittering towers and vibrant neighborhoods that pulse with the energy of modern Manila. For decades, tall buildings sprouted across the country, but none crossed the 300-meter mark. That changed in September 2008, when plans were announced for a 66-story building in Taguig, a project aimed at ending the PBCom Tower's reign. And it delivered. On January 23, 2018, the Grand Hyatt Manila opened its doors, rising to 318 meters and taking the title of the tallest building in the Philippines, a milestone for Taguig and for the country. As of 2022, Makati still leads in number of skyscrapers over 150 meters, with 75 such buildings. Taguig is next with 40, and Mandaluyong ranks third with 32. But in terms of peak height, Taguig's Grand Hyatt remains the champion. The PBCom Tower and Trump Tower Manila follow at 258.6 and 250.7 meters, respectively. Since then, many conceptual designs have emerged, each aiming to cross that 300-meter threshold again. But none have gone beyond the planning stage. Let's go back in time. The race to the skies didn't begin in 2008. It started long before. In 1996, with the country approaching its centennial of independence, the Centennial Tower was proposed, a bold 390-meter tower meant to rise in Rizal Park. Its goal? To become the Philippines' answer to landmarks like the Eiffel Tower or Tokyo Skytree. German firm Walter Bau AG offered $200 million to build it, promising it would be ready for the 1998 celebration. But fierce public opposition over its proposed location led to delays and relocation plans. Eventually, the project was shelved. Then came Sky City, proposed as an 80-story, 335-meter tower in Mandaluyong. It broke ground with great fanfare, but legal battles, sparked by nearby homeowners, brought it to a halt. The pit dug for its foundation still sits untouched. Though the courts later cleared the way, construction never resumed. Sky City became a symbol not of advancement, but of ambitions frozen in time. It wasn't the only project that fell short. The Pecor Tower, once proposed at over 650 meters near Manila Bay, was envisioned as a centerpiece of Entertainment City. Designed by Genting Berhad, it would have rivaled global icons. But changes in leadership, height restrictions near the airport, and waning political will led to its quiet demise. Entertainment City rose regardless, with venues like Okada Manila redefining leisure, but the void left by Pecor Tower remains. Another lost vision? The Philippine Diamond Tower. At 612 meters, it was to be a national monument of independence and pride, set in Quezon City. Groundbreaking was aligned with the city's 75th founding year in 2014, but the project faded with little explanation. Despite Japanese interest and local legislative support, the Diamond Tower joined the growing list of unfulfilled dreams. In a city where every great skyline tells a story, the Philippine skyline includes chapters of what might have been. Sky City, Pecor, Diamond Tower. Ambitions drawn, but never built. And yet, the hunger remains. Even recent designs like Icon Tower, a 308-meter proposal later scaled down to 275, offered hope. Its distinct elliptical cone design and energy-efficient features promised a bold new direction, but once again, construction never started. Beyond Metro Manila, other visionary proposals emerged. Princesa Tower in Palawan and the 88-story SJS Maritime Empire Tower in Mindanao. Neither moved forward. Why does this keep happening? Globally, we've entered the age of mega-tall buildings. From the Burj Khalifa to Shanghai Tower to the Mecca Clock Tower, structures that break 600 meters aren't science fiction anymore. They're real. Malaysia, China, Saudi Arabia, these nations are charging ahead. Meanwhile, the Philippines lags. But the reasons are complex. Nature plays a big part. With 20 typhoons annually and a fault line beneath Metro Manila, engineering challenges are significant. Building something tall is hard. Building it safely, much harder and more costly. Airspace rules around NAIA make tall structures in key zones a bureaucratic maze. Add in long permitting processes, 84 days and 29 steps on average, and timelines stretch indefinitely. Supply chain issues, island logistics, Metro Manila's traffic, and high construction costs only add fuel to the fire. Then there's corruption, identified by over 60% of Filipino business leaders as a key barrier to foreign investment. Power costs are another hurdle. Electricity in the Philippines ranks among the most expensive in Asia, making tower operation costly. These hurdles make skyscraper projects risky. Without anchor tenants or guaranteed leasing, they're billion-peso gambles. Investors hesitate, but here's the twist. Despite these setbacks, the Philippine economy is thriving. Its tech and service sectors are expanding. Cities beyond Manila are rising, and infrastructure is improving. And a potential game-changer looms. Just 35 kilometers north of Manila, a new international airport is nearing completion. With it comes the possibility of eliminating height restrictions in the capital. That would change everything. The foundation, economic, social, and regulatory, is being laid for the country's skyline to soar. And maybe soon, we won't just imagine the Philippines' defining tower. We'll finally build it, and this time, the sky won't be the limit.